Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and today we continue to try to prep ourselves for trying to get our Mercury motor running. Last time I dug into my oil pump choices and figured out which one I was going to use. Now today we're looking at distributors. I did also take my aluminum timing cover that came with my Mercury flathead and degunkified it and stripped the paint off of it, so it looks kind of cool now. So that's ready to go. But I didn't film any of that for you just because there's just a lot of scrubbing and cleaning and scraping. So back to today, we're looking at this Mallory Dual Point Distributor. Picked this up because I didn't want to use the Ford Load-a-matic because they're not supposed to work very well with dual carb setups. I grabbed one of these, thought I was getting a pretty good deal. Turns out can't turn the shaft, so I don't know what I'm going to find inside of this, so we're gonna have to figure that out. So first thing we're gonna do is get rid of all these plug wires because we're not going to use those. And yeah, the first time I took them out, they didn't come out that easy. I cheated. I wanted to see what the terminals looked like on it, so I pulled all the plug wires and took the cap off so I could see what the terminals look like. So let me get you caught up to what I've seen so far. So the first thing we got to do is take out these two big long screws at the top. And the cap is actually a two-piece cap. This top part comes apart separate from this. And once we take that off, we can see that this top part really just kind of holds things together, and it has this rubber seal in it. Now the good news is this rubber seal is still very pliable, so it should be reusable. Not a problem there. That's good. The bad news is this part of the cap has a chip taken out of it. The good news about that chip is that I do still have that chip in this plastic bag here. So that chip we're going to epoxy back in. Maybe at some point we can find another cap. And I just dropped one of my screws. That's not good. Please hold. No. Unhold. The screw dropped into the bag. Not much more to see about this cap, so we're going to just go ahead and put that in our bag so we can have it for later. Seal it up. Don't want to lose that. Next we have this cap. I don't think it broke. Well, the good news here is that I didn't break it again. So I don't know how well you can see this, but look inside the cap here. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the wire terminals look good. The coil wire terminal looks good. We have 1, 2, 3 of the wire terminals that have some green corrosion on them, so hopefully that'll clean up. Doesn't look like it's like super bad that anything's rotted away on it. It just looks like it needs cleaned. Inside, it's just dirty, and all of these need clean. They don't look worn, but they do need clean. So hopefully this is good. So we'll bag that up, and the trash truck is coming, so I'll be right back. I'm going to go throw these wires into the trash can, and because we're not going to use those again, they're garbage. So be right back again. Okay. Got the plug wires thrown away before the trash truck got here. Also had to run down to a neighbor's house to get a package of mine that was delivered to their house. So anyway, back to our distributor. Like I said, the shaft won't turn, so we got to get that. That's the biggest problem. And we're just going to start taking this thing apart as carefully as possible and bagging and tagging the parts. Going to start by taking off the condenser coil. Gonna have to invest in some new screwdrivers. All my screwdrivers are busted up and broken tips. Either that or grind new points on them. Oh man, they just want to climb out of there. That is not good. Oh, these are just melting. That is not good. Okay, hopefully we can make this combination work because it's the biggest screwdriver I have, and I really don't want to have to grind these off. And I really don't want to hit this with an impact, like a type impact, not a impact. Those heads are just trashed. They are just falling apart like cheese. Was not expecting that. Don't want to use heat because I don't want to ruin the condenser. Oh, got one. And I probably will be replacing these screws rather than using the originals, because that's just not fun. That's no fun for anyone. Get us another bag out here. Let's see if we can get this other one to break free like we did that one. And there it went. Okay, to do that, all I did was just really held a lot of pressure on it here and had the wrench on the shaft of the screwdriver and just kept rocking it back and forth until it broke. Just really gentle, not putting any serious effort in removing it. All right, well, crisis averted. We can replace these screws, that's not a problem. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our condenser. And this condenser is probably no good. It's got a crack in it, which I don't like seeing that, so this condenser is probably shot. But we'll bag it, tag it. I'm gonna go ahead and take these clips off. They have a little split pin here that has the ends flared out. Should be able to just straighten those ends if I can. Here's one. Okay, and it should push through, not easily. Okay, that one moved. Okay, they both moved a little bit now. Ha! We're gonna get it now. There we go. One's out. Two's out. These are off. And we got our little pins. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reuse them, but we'll try. If not, we'll have to figure out something else on that. Now, bag and tag that stuff. Okay, now the internals. So what we have here on top is our points plate. And let's take a really good look at this, because I might have to come back to this to figure out how to reassemble this. But anyway, these are our points down here, dual points. Ground maybe, I don't know. This goes to the condenser, I think. And got a camshaft in here that opens and closes when this turns, if it ever turns. So looks like first thing we got to do is take these screws here out. And I think, I'm not sure if the whole points plate will lift out at that point or not, but let's find out. This might have to be, oh, that one's finger tight. There's got a screw inside, or not a screw, a nut inside. Okay, lay that there for now. Get our nut for now. Does this, I don't know if this comes out or not. Let's just go ahead. Of course, that one's not finger tight. This screwdriver's too big for this slot. But it caught it. Okay. This one's got a knurled nut on the inside. This might have to be a two-part video, like one where I take it apart and one where I put it back together. Okay, now this side, that insulator came out in two pieces. Now, oh, that cover came off. This little cover that comes off of the points. But it does not feel like it wants to move with just that. So I guess the next thing we do is take off the points themselves. There's 2 screws in there for that. And this screwdriver definitely too big for that. So we got a screw here, one down here. Those are some stubby little screws. Oh, there it goes. Okay. We have movement. There we go. It's starting to come out. Come on. Okay. Now it looks to me like I shouldn't have had to remove these screws, so let's put those back in real quick. Okay, now there's some rust in here, or just grimy grit. This one's not so bad. This plate isn't so bad, but definitely needs work. Now, let's put this back together so we know which side they go in and the proper orientation. Okay, points plate. The next thing we got down in there is our centrifugal advance, and I have no idea how that comes out. There's a bunch of screws in there. I'm thinking this shaft should pull out when I get the gear in it, so maybe the top part of this all comes off of that shaft. Yeah, it kind of looks like there's a bushing in there, so maybe all this comes up. So for future knowledge, they have a bigger screw on this point holding an advance spring, and get springs over here by itself. We got 2 screws on this plate here, and then down underneath there's another screw. So I guess I just start from the top, start taking screws off and see what happens. Now you can change these advance springs. I always forget this part. I can't remember if it's centripetal force or centrifugal force, that when this spins, the weights on the plate go out, causing these springs to stretch, and it changes your advancing on your ignition. Now you can put lighter springs in here to bring the advance in earlier and get more torque at low end, or at low RPMs. So that's one thing people do. And I just noticed there's also a little tiny retaining clip in there for this washer under this pin here. All right, here goes nothing. I'm going to start by removing those 2 screws on that trapezoidal plate, and that screwdriver's not going to work. Okay, though the plate turns. Wait a minute, did I turn the gear? Nope. All right. When I went to break the torque free on this screw, that advance plate turned. All right. Man, little tiny washer on that too. Ugh. Okay, now that came off. I don't know if I should have done that or not. Can this whole thing come out? Doesn't feel like it. Okay, let's keep on going. We've come too far to stop. Alright, taking out the bigger screw on the kind of fang shaped piece that's connected to one of the springs. like that. Can you take those springs off? Oh, this star washer was under it. Guess I could try to bring you in a little closer. Okay, we're going to try to take out this little retaining clip without losing it. No, that's not going to work. Can we push it through? Maybe? There it goes. Okay. Well, it came out. I don't see it. Oh man, did I lose that little dude? I said without losing it. Darn it. This spring is still attached. Darn it. Okay. Well. Oh, I found it. Cool. All right. So that little retaining clip came out, as well as some rust. Okay. I got one more screw I can see through this hole here, but it's a bigger screw, and a little screwdriver that can go through that hole is not going to break it free. So I would think either this plate's supposed to move far enough that it can uncover that screw, or it should come off. Oh, it's starting to. All right, hang on. Oh, look at that. Okay, so this gizmo came off. That's good. Oh, we gotta get this spring. How does this spring come out of there? Is it just bent over it? All right, so this plate wants to come up too, but it's caught on this spring here. This one is on this plate, so this spring has to come off. So I gotta try to pry it over top of that. I don't know if you can see any of that. So this plate now wants to come up and come off, but it's caught on this spring right here, so that's got to come off. This one is separate and on that plate, so it doesn't. So let's see if we can get the spring off here without, again, losing it. Come on, baby. She gone. I just launched that spring. I was quiet after I did it because I was hoping to hear kind of like where it went. But I'm pretty sure now finding that spring is a useless task. Good news is you can buy springs for these. I know that. So as I was saying, you can buy lighter springs to bring your advance in earlier. So, you know, maybe that's a good idea to buy new springs anyway. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to shut you off for a minute while I look, see if I can find it. I think it's a fool's errand, but we're going to try. Well, I looked around for a bit, but I didn't find it anywhere. So we're going to go on the assumption it's lost forever. I'll keep an eye open as I sweep up for a while, but I think it's highly unlikely I'll find that one, because that thing took off. I mean, like, took off like I should have been wearing eye protection, took off. All right, back to this. Oh my gosh, hang on. Never mind. I stand corrected. It somehow ended up back in here. So there it is. And where's that? I need that washer. Okay. So that washer. We got our plate. And like, yeah, see, this is supposed to move, and that's pretty gummed up. I think all of this part is savable though, with just some cleaning and polishing. Some evapor rust maybe. Now, okay, so we got this plate here, and as you can see, you got a weight here and a weight on this plate. And I just noticed there's markings on this plate here, but I don't know what they're for. We have a screw here. There's a broken piece of plastic in there. It looks like some kind of collar that was underneath this plate. Can't tell if there's any more. Didn't seem like all of it came out. Okay, so I guess now we take out this one here, see what comes loose next. With all this rust that I'm seeing, I'm having my doubts on the shaft down in there.
Why don't you knock it off with them negative waves?
Okay, there's that piece and the screw that came with it. We have a ring. Is that a C-clamp? What is that? Not a C-clamp. No, it's just like a washer on top of this shaft. There's that. Now this is spring loaded, so there's something else in there. When I move it, this does not move, so either that is our shaft. I'm not sure about that. There's a little more of that plastic collar that was on there. And that was around this brass. So this brass around that shaft is moving with this whole plate. Just notice there's a hole here, so maybe I can try to work that plate up. I'm going to fill this thing up with some WD-40 and let it soak in there and hopefully loosen some stuff up. Okay, well this has been soaking for a little bit now, and it's still just, I don't know if you saw that, but I just poured a whole bunch of WD-40 out of it. So near as I can tell, it looks like there's a pin holding this gear on, and it looks like I need to drive that out and take this gear off, and the shaft I would assume would go up this way. I can't figure out how to get this plate off. Can't tell how this is attached, so I might have to take this shaft off. Maybe this whole thing comes off the bottom and then the shaft actually goes out the top. But before we do that, I'm going to try to clamp this gear down in the wooden jaws of my workmate. Let's see if maybe we can start working it free. Oh, look at that. We're moving. Okay, that's good news. I mean, it was definitely taking some force, but it did turn. Turn. Okay, when I try to, I need to keep turning it this way because that's biting the jaws in. When I try to turn it the other way, it climbs itself out of the slot. Tried to turn it back. Quit doing that. Okay, that's kind of good news. So I think now what we're going to do, try to drive this pin out. Now it's already sticking out just a little bit, so hopefully this will go. And that didn't seem to go at all. There it went. Alright, there went the pin. So we got our little gear pin out. I'm going to try to just clamp it and pull, but I might have to get a puller for this. I have to get some kind of gear puller. Alright, well, the smallest puller I have is too wide. So I got to make something to kind of adapt that. So we made our little adapter here real quick. Just slides around the shaft underneath. So we can take and put this in there. Oops, gotta back it out a little bit. That under that. Now hopefully, if this works the way I'm envisioning it, this will pull off the gear and not just bend my adapter. It's pulling. There is, the gap here is separating, so I think I got it. Yep, we're going. All right, we're bottomed down on our tool now. See, the problem is I can no longer push on the center of my shaft with the gear remover because it's hitting the gear itself. Oh, all right, fixed the problem. It came off. All right, take our washer and that. Now I think we knock the shaft that way. And it didn't move at all. It did move. It's also sliding through my hand. Uh-oh. Haha! Success. Well, we do have a bushing in there, but we're not going to try to get that out. We are going to kind of lightly put this together. And we got a spring down there. So now the thing to do is clean all these parts up individually and make sure they can all move freely. I don't think my shaft is damaged, it's just gunked up. It doesn't look like it's really crusty. I was getting ready to start cleaning stuff up, but I noticed there's still one more screw in here. We still have these pieces in here, which I don't know if I'm going to mess with or not. We're going to let those go for now. But I don't know what this screw is, so we got to find out what that does, or is. I think this is going to be one of those where we need to use the wrench and twist back and forth methodology, so we can keep plenty of pressure on it. There it went. All right, it went without the twisting back and forth. Why do I feel like it's going to have a spring and shoot out of it? All right, so that's just a little plug. So I'm going to guess that might be where you were supposed to lubricate all this and someone didn't lubricate it. So I'm going to guess that's where you were supposed to put lubrication in this thing. And maybe someone never did, and that's why it got all gummy and stucky. Those are the technical terms, by the way. But anyway, so it's gummy and stucky no more. We're going to clean this thing up. Clean out the whatever this part's called, the tube, the shaft of this part, the housing. And yeah, I think we're ready to clean it up, get it ready to go back into service. So I'm going to call the video here, part 1, disassembly. and clean all this stuff up on my own, and come back to you for the next video. And when it's parts are ready to go back together, and we see if we can put this thing together and make it work. And make it work is a relative term, because we can't see if it actually works until we get the motor ready to fire, and that's a ways off yet. But let's see if we can make it turn and spin and do the things it's supposed to do, like just mechanically. So thank you for watching. I could not find any disassembly videos on these flathead Mallory dual points. I found one disassembly video on a Mallory dual point that was similar, but not exactly, it wasn't as old as this one. And that guy like fast forwarded through all the disassembly parts, so it was really hard to see what was going on. Anyway, so I kind of made this video really partially for myself, to where I can fall back and look at it and put this thing back together in reverse order. And hopefully maybe somebody else can see this and see what they're getting into. And I don't think you'd have to take apart everything that I did to get the shaft out, but I don't think it's going to hurt me in this case, because all those parts had a lot of rust and stuff on them, and it all needs cleaned up and greased anyway. So we're just going to go ahead with the course that I've set for myself. I'm not going to take these bushings out because I think they're plenty good. Nothing was sloppy in this, so we're just going to leave it at that. So yeah, next time we'll be putting this thing back together, or trying to at least. Till then, YouTube, later.